I've had a couple of questions about how to handle ordinal variables in JASP, because JASP handles them differently than Flexplot does. So for example, if we were to look at this paranormal data set and look at Flexplot, and then let's say we just wanted to do a bar chart of the income variable, notice that it is not sorted in the correct order. Negative 50K should be less than here, and then 50 to 75K, etc. And the reason behind this is because what Flexplot is doing in the background is it is sorting the axes by the sample size. So in this situation, the mode was 50 to 75,000, and then the second most frequently occurring score was 75 to 100,000. And so it sorts it according to the size, so you could get that nice gradual trend, and it conveys more information than if you just did it randomly. And by the way, what it does by default is it sorts them in alphabetical order, which doesn't really make sense. Unfortunately, it's a little hard in JASP to specify the order that you actually want. So I'm going to show you real quick how to tell JASP that this is an ordered factor so that it respects the order that you want to give it. To do that, I'm going to click this arrow, which gives us our data set, and I'm going to create a new column called income underscore ordered. And by default, it gives you this hand, which allows you to drag and drop things. And I can't figure out how to use the hand one to do the sort of statements that I want. So instead, we're going to have to use a little bit of R code. And we want to specify that the variable is ordinal, and then we're going to create a column. And now it allows us to enter R code. And so what we're going to do is we're going to type factor, and then the name of the variable, which in this case is income. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give the labels that it currently has, except we're going to say levels instead of labels, equals C. And then we'll just go from the bottom. We'll go it was less than 50K, and then 50 to 75K, and then 75 to 100K. Oops, and I spelled that wrong. And it's very important that you actually spell it perfectly right, otherwise it's gonna bark it. And actually, we don't need the K there. Yeah, because I'm just looking down here where the labels are actually at, and that's what I'm using. And then we'll go comma, and then greater than 100K, close parentheses, and then here's the important part. We will go labels equals C, and then we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so what this bit of R code is going to do is it's going to rename anything that says less than 50K as a 1, and then anything between 50 and 75K it's going to rename as a 2, etc. And the reason why we do this is because in JASP, if it ever sees any sort of text, it's going to treat it as a nominal variable, and we don't want a nominal variable, we want an ordinal variable. And so if we do that and then hit compute column, it's going to give us a new column with the 2s and the 3s and that sort of thing. But of course, we've lost the labels, so we need to put those back in. Kind of a roundabout way of doing it. So I'm just gonna drag this down. And then now we're going to, again, put the labels back in and go less than 50K. And here we don't have to worry about them being exactly as they were before. And then we'll go 50 to 75K. And then, 75 to 100K, and then we will do more than 100K. And then now, notice that it now has the labels back in. So it looks exactly the same as it did before, but now there's this underlying 1, 2, 3, and 4 going on. And so now if we go back to the visual modeling module and go to Flexplot, and if we were to repeat the exact same thing, income ordered, now it would respect the order of the variables. Awesome! So that's all we have to do. And I use that term lightly because it's a little more complicated than it should be, I think. And I've talked to the developers at JASP, and maybe someday there will be a solution to make this a little easier so you don't have to do R code. But for now, that will work. See you next time.